We begin with border battles. In the fiscal year that just ended, more than 800,000 people tried to illegally enter the U.S. Controlling the border is a defining issue for President Trump and a big part in the election debate. But America isn't the only place with a border battle. There's been a mass influx into Europe from troubled nations in the Mideast and Africa. Scott Thuman went to Morocco in North Africa and found a place where Europe's border is a unique challenge.
With Mediterranean waves lapping the shore, this scenic slice of land has become a major draw, but for reasons well beyond the sand and sun. That's because it's one of those rare spots in the world where you can cross from Africa into Europe by simply walking. Here in Morocco, all that separates the two sides are these two 20-foot-high fences. For hundreds of years, the city of Ceuta has been controlled by Spain. That makes this enclave and another just like it further down the coast part of the vast European Union, even though geographically they're on African soil. For us, a brief stroll and passport check gets us across from Morocco into Ceuta, Spain. Come. For migrants, the millions in Africa who live in poverty or who are engulfed in any of a half-dozen tragic conflicts raging across the continent, this place offers an escape, a chance to leave all that behind. But being a gateway to Europe also provides an opportunity for those people Europe most wants to keep out. Like the attackers from Morocco who hit Paris in November of 2013 and others who took part in attacks in Belgium, Spain, and London.
The Moroccan security service has a proactive approach to stop people who hold jihadist beliefs.
At the highly guarded compound for Morocco's equivalent of the FBI, Abdul El-Khiam oversees one of the world's best-regarded anti-terror agencies.
Just the first half of this year, you've broken up 10 terror cells here in Morocco. Is your work here preventing attacks in other countries as well? Is it making other countries, including America, safer, what you're doing here?
The fight against terrorism is not something that's done by just one single country or another. It's something which is done by the whole world. Terrorism is a plague which threatens humanity, the existence of humanity on Earth, and that necessitates coordination between every country.
Inside the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, it didn't take long to meet our first illegal immigrant. 16-year-old Sekou and his friends trekked thousands of miles across Africa before sneaking in without permission.
Did you think you would see those big fences and the walls? Did you know what you were going to have to try and get through?
No.
So what did you think when you saw all the fences?
Like, my imagination was that, like a new world.
Sekou says he came to Europe for economic reasons, getting across the border inside the dashboard of a car. Sometimes that tactic goes horribly wrong when vehicles are forced to wait hours in the hot sun before they can pass. Some never make it, even if they pay a smuggler.
You didn't think it would be difficult?
No.
You knew if you paid, you would get in?
Yeah.
Even though there were all those soldiers and fences, you still knew you could get in?
Sí.
Another dangerous but increasingly popular tactic, mass groups storming the fence, usually under the cover of darkness, sometimes turning violent. Spanish border guards try to stop them, but many get through. By midsummer this year, at least 10,000 Africans made it past the fence lines and into Spanish territory. The Moroccans are also trying to secure the border from their side. Khalid Zerali is in charge of borders and migration, tasked with stopping illegal entry into the two Spanish enclaves.
You're saying those two locations in some ways are magnets.
Sure.
And you have a difficult challenge of trying to manage who gets across.
Jumping the fence never goes by peacefully. It's always an attack conducted by 800 or 1,000 migrants under the control of criminal groups. So it will be more as a violent action and not a migration, peaceful passage.
It's not completely different from what America sees at its southern border. And in both places, there are worries over who's getting past the defenses and if they have dangerous intentions.
Border control is the most important element maybe in our security doctrine because of the risk of having foreign fighters, terrorists coming into the country to prevent other dangerous elements to enter the country.
So it should come as no surprise that on the very day we were here, so was a delegation from the U.S. meeting with Moroccan intelligence officials and trading notes over the most effective ways to track down terrorists.
The U.S. is also sharing and selling a lot. The Pentagon just sold billions of dollars of military equipment to the kingdom, with investment at the borders too. In this northern Moroccan port, the largest in all of Africa, we saw American technology put to use. These massive scanners are taking X-rays of trucks leaving Africa and heading to Europe. Guards look for everything from stowaways to smuggled guns and drugs. They find plenty. On this day, they show us two men who were trying to get to Europe with false IDs.
So he has a fake visa. Okay. So the real person in these papers is actually supposed to be from France.
Yeah, that's it.
So he used a photo that's similar to his.
Yeah.
And then he comes in, but he's not from France. Does this happen often?
Yeah, always. Here in this port, always. Every day.
Every day?
Yeah, every day.
Back in the Spanish enclave of Ceuta, more migrants who've successfully made it across the fence. Again, like in America, they wait in a facility, unsure of their fate. The lucky ones will be transferred to mainland Europe to formally make asylum claims. Most will eventually be turned down. This man says he went through 4 African countries to get to this point.
How long did it take you to get here?
It took 4 months.
4 months it took you?
Yeah.
How much did you have to pay?
No, not talk.
No?
No.
And why did you leave Guinea? Is it dangerous?
It's dangerous.
Yeah.
The government, the bad government in Guinea.
So whether in northern Africa or the southern U.S., what's happening here is more evidence. The desire for a safer life or just a better one is a powerful motivator. And no border is 100% secure.
Scott, do you think they're making any real progress?
Well, they've cut the number of migrants who've made it to mainland Spain in half this year, but that doesn't mean there aren't still attempts. In fact, just a few weeks ago, 150 migrants stormed into Ceuta in just one night. That's the biggest breach of the fence they've had so far. So now they're talking about making it even taller. Right now, it's already 20 feet, but just for reference, President Trump's model for the U.S. border wall, the new parts of the wall, is going to be 30 feet.
Wow, so interesting when you think about comparing what's going on in the 2 different countries. Thanks, Scott.